The African Christian Democratic Party says it welcomes Ramaphosa's announcement that financially stable municipalities will be allowed to procure electricity directly from independent power producers.
The most important thing that we appreciated that came from the President's speech tonight was for him to say municipalities that are doing well with their finances will be allowed to procure power directly from IPPs. Now we know that the independent power producers have not been given the right to sell directly to the municipalities. So we believe that that's one of the best things that he said tonight.
Democratic Alliance interim leader John Steenhuisen says they welcome Ramaphosa's focus on youth unemployment, but he says there are no concrete plans on how the private sector will help to address the problem.
In terms of jobs, a lot of virtuous ends again announced tonight. We've had them in every zona. The focus on youth unemployment is welcome, but very few concrete steps about how you would unleash the private sector to help, incentivize the private sector to help, how you would use tax incentives, for instance, to encourage them to bring in school leavers, to be able to give them the schools. Government's never going to be able to train enough people to be absorbed into work. You need to partner with the private sector to make it happen.
The IFP says Ramaphosa fell short when it came to announcing solutions for the country's failing state-owned entities. The party's former leader Mangosuthu Buthelezi said cash-strapped entities like South African Airways and Eskom are a drain on the fiscus.
The president today said that the government cannot do these things, alone. It's true, because no government actually does it. The government can only deal with the environment, make the environment suitable for those in the private sector. Now, most of the people in the private sector are white. I don't think that we promote social cohesion by doing what the EF is doing. When we need to get together, even the last words of the president was that we should unite and persevere and so on.
The Freedom Front Plus says the bulk of President Cyril Ramaphosa's speech in Parliament was characterized by cosmetic announcement without tangible solution to the country's many problems. It says Ramaphosa highlighted land expropriation without compensation, an issue it believes will cause more harm than good to the economy.
If you look at the speech, it's nothing else than cosmetics about referring to the youth. He is still continuing with the NHI. He is still continuing with expropriation without compensation. He is not going to build the economy. On Eskom, a positive thing there is that private power producers will be able to supply electricity, and municipalities will be allowed to obtain from those PPPs some electricity. That's positive.
The United Democratic Movement also felt last night's speech did not go far enough to deal with the country's unemployment challenge. It says the president's speech lacked much needed detail.
There are other announcements that have to do with trying to stimulate growth and youth unemployment, deal with youth unemployment specifically. But I think one of the issues that the president must consider as he tries to encourage us to say we need to buy local is that local businesses must also be encouraged to employ South Africans and to employ locals so that we can be able to fight the issue of unemployment.
Meanwhile, the EFF has defended its filibustering in the House, saying it did not believe Ramaphosa would keep any of the promises made in the speech. The EFF caused a 1.5-hour delay, raising objections to the presence of former President F.W. de Klerk and then demanding Ramaphosa to fire Public Enterprises Minister Pravin Gordhan. Proceedings were suspended for a while, but not before all EFF MPs walked out of the House.